Now, retail's big show is underway at Jacob Javits Center here in New York City. With over 40,000 attendees and $75 million in economic impact for the city, it's the retail industry's biggest stage. One key highlight: NRF's new Consumer Insights Studio, a game-changing platform helping retailers decode consumer behavior like never before. Here to talk more about this is Mark Mathews. He is Executive Director of Research at the National Retail Federation. Mark, it's great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. So NRF 2025 is set to attract over 40,000 attendees, and like I said in the lead-in, generates $75 million for the city. How has this conference evolved over the years to become such a significant event for the city and the whole retail industry?
Well, it's amazing, and I wish you could be here to see it. As you said, 40,000 people, 1,000 exhibitors, people from 100 different countries. I think what's really important to understand is how important retail is to the U.S. economy. It has a tremendous impact, not just on big cities and small cities. All over the country, you find retail stores, and the importance of our industry has just grown and grown and grown. And therefore, anytime you have a retail event, you attract all sorts of people because retail has a huge impact, not just on the people who shop, but the entire communities in which the retail businesses operate.
What are some of the major themes and trends that are in the spotlight at NRF 2025 so far?
Yeah, well, what's interesting is that nobody is closer to the consumer than the retailer. And understanding the consumer is paramount. The challenge is that the consumer is constantly changing. Opinions are changing, psyche's changing. You have Gen Z and their behavior is different, and then all of a sudden you have Gen Alpha now. So understanding how the consumer is behaving is so important. And we're actually, NRF is jointly launching a product with our partners Affinity Solutions and Pixis, which is part of Bain & Company, to help retailers understand the consumer better. It's called the Consumer Insights Studio, and having insights into consumer behavior, what they're doing, what they're thinking, is psyche turning into action, all those things are incredibly important to be competitive in what's an amazingly dynamic, ever-changing industry.
And speaking of insights into consumer behavior, what would you say is the current state of the retail industry, given all of your analysis there on the ground?
It's actually pretty strong. We had a phenomenal holiday season. We saw retail sales grow 5% in November and December over last year, which is incredible given that there is no inflation in retail goods. Most of the inflation is in services. Retail goods are actually slightly in deflation. So retailers actually have to sell more to see a gain. The consumer is in pretty good shape, I got to say. Household wealth is at $160 trillion, the highest level it's ever been. And most importantly, employment is strong and wage growth is above inflation. For the last 21 months, we've had wages above inflation, and that is fueling a consumer that is going out and shopping.
I do want to talk to you about how you mentioned that there's more than 1,000 exhibitors showcasing the latest technologies. What emerging innovations or solutions are you most excited about for NRF 2025?
Well, yeah, I hate to be cliche, but if you look around, the two letters AI are pretty much everywhere, and I think it's really important because if you understand how difficult it is to understand consumer behavior and the billions and billions of data points that you need to analyze to understand what the consumer is doing, having the power of AI to help you dig through all that data and generate actionable insights, that is incredibly important. If we think about something that consumers tell us that they care about sustainability and they care about ethical sourcing, those are true. They care about it, but does that translate into actual buying behavior? That's not always the case. So being able to understand those distinctions, being able to understand, okay, my consumer feels this way, but are they acting that way? Because retailers have to be ahead of the consumer. They have to buy before the consumer buys. So being able to make those decisions accurately makes a huge difference.
Now, since you did mention AI, but as Executive Director of Research, what are the key insights or findings from NRF's recent studies that will take center stage this week, and how do you see the role of data-driven decision-making evolving for retailers in 2025 and beyond?
Well, I really do believe that, we are seeing a second data revolution. It used to be that retailers just focused on what the consumer was doing within their own confines, within their stores. Nobody understood that behavior better. Now retailers are out looking beyond the store, beyond their own doors, to see what the consumer is doing when they're not shopping with them. How are they behaving? Where are they shopping when they're not shopping with me? What are they doing? If my sales are increasing in a certain area, is it because my marketing campaign is great in that area? Is it because the consumer loves me in that area? Or is everybody doing well in that area? Is it a rising tide lifting all boats? So being able to dig into those insights is so critical for a retailer these days.
Thank you so much. Again, Mark Mathews, Executive Director of Research at the National Retail Federation. Great to have you.